Okay, friends, I'm going to share with you Grace and Grain, my dehydrated sourdough starter. We're going to go ahead and rip this open. Start with day one and open it up. We're going to pour all the ingredients into a small glass jar. I'm starting with this little jar here. Go ahead and pour the ingredients in there, which is on my little tag here. That's what it looks like. What we're going to do is we're going to put in 3 tablespoons of filtered warm water. I actually have a thermometer that I like to test with. Let me show you what I do. I usually do like body temperature, 98 or 97 as the temperature for the warmth. You're going to put in the 3 tablespoons of warm water, and you're going to stir it up just so that it kind of all combines. And we're going to let this sit for 1 hour. And that's just to get the dehydrated bits all softened up. And then we're going to come back and give it its first feed. So just make sure to kind of scrape down all the little edges. And then we're going to go ahead and put just a light lid on top of it, just so that it can still get a little bit of air. It's not tight, it's just sitting on top. And we're going to check back in 1 hour. Okay, friends, so now it has been an hour, and this is what it looks like at 1 hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give it a little stir and get this all kind of combined together. And we're going to be feeding it 2 tablespoons of flour. So what you're going to want to use is an unbleached. I like to use a high protein flour. I feel like my starter absolutely loves the protein and thrives on it. So Grace goes crazy. So there's 2 tablespoons. What we're looking for is a thick pancake consistency, okay? If it ends up being a little thicker, what you're gonna wanna do, yeah, this is just a tiny bit thicker. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add just a little bit of water to it, a little bit of water at a time, okay? Till you get a pancake consistency. You don't want it to be too thick. When you measure out your tablespoons, and that's what I did, I actually measured out just a little bit more than 2 tablespoons. But because I know what to look for, that's why I'm adding the water. So if this happens to you, which I'm glad it's showing on the camera because it can very well happen to you, this is the consistency that we want. Okay, it's not runny, it's just kind of clumpy, okay? So a thicker pancake consistency, what you're gonna wanna do is just kind of push this down, scrape it down, so that way we can see the action that's gonna happen. We're literally going to be really careful with the top around the edges because, well, not really careful, just clean it up because this starter can be like concrete, like cement. So there's where we're at. If you want to mark it at this point, you can. I really don't know if too much activity is going to happen. It does definitely in day 2 create a little bit more activity, but you're more than welcome to mark it if you want to get used to that. And what you're going to do is just loosely, just put a lid on it loosely. I just put this one because I have no idea where my lid is for this. And we're just going to set it to the side for 24 hours. We're not going to do anything to it until day 2. And when day 2 comes, then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to add 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of room temperature filtered water again, and then let it sit for 24 hours. So your starter does not take up a lot of time for you. It's just a few steps, and then you're on your way to soon making your own bread by the 5th day. I just fed this at 4 o'clock. Look at the bubbles already. Day 2. Day 3 is when you would usually see some activity, meaning she's coming back to life. I'm telling you guys, my dehydrated starter is a strong one. If you're interested in getting it for your sourdough, DM me and I will hook you up. Good evening, friends. Just wanted to share with you Grace here. Look at her grow. This is my dehydrated starter that I have been babying a little bit for 3 days. This is day number 3. Look at all those bubbles on day 3. I just fed her at 4 o'clock. Loosely, leave the lid on loose and just let her sit for another 24 hours. Super easy. If you guys are interested in getting my dehydrated starter, Grace is ready for you and she would love to come home with you. Okay, I transferred my starter, my dehydrated starter that I'm rehydrating. I transferred it to a bigger jar because now we're going to actually give it a big feed today. Okay, we are going to feed this 1.5 cups of flour. This is a big feed. Okay. Okay, so I added a bit more water to my dehydrated starter than my instructions, only because this is going to actually depend on the house. Like a pancake consistency is what you want, so be looking for that when you actually are adding a little bit more water at a time. This almost might be a little too thick, so I might add 1 little teaspoon of water just to kind of make it just a little bit less thick. So adding a teaspoon of water at a time. I know what to look for, so I actually added 1/2 cup of water extra to my starter, hydrating starter. So yeah, that's more like it. So more like that consistency. It's just a little bit more wet, but it's not thick that I can't put my little spatula through it. So that's quite a big feed that we gave it, and in all honesty, that should double in size. So we gave it a good feed. This is day 4 of my rehydration of the dehydrated starter that I have for sale. So let's take a look at this here in about, I'd say maybe 4 hours, and let's see if it's what it's looking like at 4 hours and see how fast it's gonna grow. You also are gonna want to clean the edges off. Just keep everything nice and clean. I like to do that. It's just, when this starter hardens, you guys, it's like cement. Do not put this down your drain at all. Put the lid on loose, and we are gonna let it sit for another 24 hours. But I'm gonna check it in 4 hours and see if we have any action going on. What I like to do is mark it with a marker, and then I always go like this. I'm like, it should reach that area right there. Now try to scrape down all the bits around your glass jar, because this is going to rise up and it'll stay there at its peak, meaning that's when you could make bread with it, but we're still feeding it and getting it strong. So we're not making bread with this yet. We're still like letting it rise and then it goes back down, letting it rise and go back down. That's what you need to do with a dehydrated starter. You need to get it strong. So we're not making bread yet, not yet, not on day 4. So maybe day 5. So it's gonna get up to here, and it might even go off the top. Who knows? Because Grace is crazy. She bubbles up and goes everywhere. But I mark my areas so that I know where to look at when I know that I can start baking. Okay, look at this. It's already crept up there. It's only been an hour and a half. Got a little bit more to go and we're gonna be at peak. Okay, friends, yep, Grace is overflowing. I put this little plate under here because I knew she was gonna go. She's way past the mark. You guys, that is complete bread making starter right there. But again, we're not making bread on day 4. Tomorrow, she's gonna be ready enough to make bread. Took 5 days with my starter, with my dehydrated starter, and you can make your own bread. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, this is what I woke up to this morning. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I'm still going strong. Yeah, that is good. So today I would feed it again. And when it gets peak, I can make bread with it. But yeah, Grace is amazing. She tastes so good, you guys. I'm not kidding. I know that it sounds weird. She tastes so good. But people name their starters, and that's okay. But the bread that comes of this starter, you guys, tastes so good. What a mess. This is why the plate, look at this. This is like, this is already like dried on the top. It's already started to dehydrate itself again. Okay, so this is day 5. I'm gonna feed my starter again and make bread with it today. So I love these Weck jars. You can get them on Amazon. And I am gonna keep probably, I would say just 100. Oh yeah, look at this. I need to tilt this up. Look at that. That is bread making. I probably could have made bread with this starter on day 4, but I'm just gonna put probably, let's do this much. Let's do 133 grams. So what I'm gonna do now is, this is at 133 grams. I'm gonna feed it 133 grams of filtered warm water and 133 grams of unbleached bread flour. I like the high protein bread flour. Okay. So that was 134. So I'm gonna do 134 of flour. Oops. Ooh, that's way over. So that's okay, because that's when you take a spoon and scoop it out. Perfect. Okay. Then you're going to take it off of your scale, and we're going to give it, I like to use these, this one's used so much that I tore it, but I like to use these little silicone spatulas. You don't want to use metal when doing this. You can use metal to like spoon things in, like water or taking flour out, but don't use the metal to stir and do this kind of stuff. you have the likelihood of maybe killing some of the cultures with the metal. So again, we're looking for a pancake batter consistency, and that's what we're getting. It's kind of a thicker consistency, but that's okay. That's what it's supposed to be like. You just want to make sure to take all your bits of flour and get it incorporated into the starter that we poured into the glass. So I'm going to clean this all down. This is why I like these spatulas. I'm going to clean it down and let it settle at the bottom. Oops. Again, keep everything pretty clean because, like I said earlier, it can get really hard and sticky. So that's about where it is. And I'm gonna give it a good mark it up. This is where it is. And that is where it should be, right there. But again, Grace, she's gonna be a little wild. Put a lid loosely on it, and then I just stick it over in a counter and just let it sit. And in 4 to 6 hours, that should be here, and we should be ready to make some bread. Oh yeah, that's ready. When you can tap it and nothing sticks to you, that means it is bulk fermented. It did it for 2 hours. Also, you guys, when you can pull it away, see how it pulls away from the bowl really easily? That's another indication that the bulk fermentation is done. It sat on the counter for 2 hours, covered with my little cover, which I love these because these have a lining to them and it traps the moisture inside, so it keeps your dough from drying out. Okay, you guys, get ready to take them out of the oven. I always check them. Sometimes I'll leave them in there for 18 minutes instead of 15 minutes. But, oh wow. Look at that, y'all. She's done. Grace, you did it again. You did it again. Oh my Lanta, you guys. Look at that one. Yes. They are done. Now I have to carefully take them. Let me arrange my camera here a little bit better. Carefully take them out. Oh my gosh, they're so heavy. It's stuck. There's cheese. There we go. You'll burn yourself when you do this. Carefully. Oh my gosh, you guys, these are huge. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Grace, you did it again. You kicked butt, girl. Okay, hold on. Now this one might be a little, uh-oh. This one might be a little harder. Oh, maybe not. To get out without burning myself. Ay, ay, ay. Guys. Let's move this one over. Ah. There we go. Let's tear all of this parchment paper away. Wowzers. Wowzers, that's funny. Oh my gosh. That cheese, that's crusty. You guys, look at this. Look at this. Okay, I gotta pick up the camera. I gotta pick it up. You guys, look at my hand. Like, this loaf is huge. This is day 6, you guys, baking with my sourdough, dehydrated sourdough starter. We rehydrated her day 1, and I took you along the journey for those of you that purchased it from day 1 to today, which is day 6. Look at that. And you know that these are full. These are mine and Jim's. These are not for sale, but I loaded them full, and I load them when people buy them. I load them full as well, but not like this. This I just wanted to test a little further, and oh my gosh, look how pretty. So do you see what I mean by how it creates like this lip? Look at that crumb. Oh my gosh. Why does this fascinate me so much? I don't know. This score would have been deeper if I wouldn't have let it go. This one was okay because it had more room and air inside the Dutch oven, but this one didn't have a lot of room. So the expansion score didn't open up as much, but it's still gonna be amazing. It's just not as pretty, but it's still great. And oh my gosh, yeah. I'm glad I left this on there because it's stuck on there now. And you know when we open these, that it's gonna just be oozing some jalapenos. I put 4 jalapenos in this batch. So every time I make a batch, it makes 2 breads. That's what I like to do. And normally I put 2 jalapenos and like 3 cups of cheese when I'm selling them, but I put 4 jalapenos and 4 cups of cheese. So yep, yummy.